Hello, my name is Cameron, and welcome to today's self-reflection presentation on my post-university finance-specific MBA journey. This is Business 695, the capstone, and let's get started. So we're going to start off today with an MBA requirement class, getting to know friends, in the right swing of things and then into two concentration specific classes where I definitely found appreciation for classes I was not expecting. And lastly, the capstone class that brought everything together. So, with individual performance and leading change, this was one of those real world classes where I can currently bring that information into a position I'm in today, and which was great. From the first note, I help X get to Y so they can Z. Very good customer service quote I can help with today. And lastly, the personal growth and how to differentiate good leaders and how to build up those troops from the lower rank using that character development saying of enable, empower, and encourage. Next, in investment management and analysis, efficient markets was adjusted for a modern day realism. And what I mean by that is we talked about the strong form, which assumes that prices incorporate all of the information available, and that includes historical financial information, so that's the weak form, all new public information, the semi-strong form, and all private information regarding that financial asset, sorry. Then we learned about in fixed income securities, which a term that just really meant bonds, CDs, and other government-backed safe investments. And lastly, we talked about private equity as well as mutual funds and hedge funds. And one quote from this section, which was kind of the basis for my capstone project, was the criteria for qualified investors must have an income of 250,000 for the past 3 years and 1 million in assets, not including a home. So this really demonstrated the unaffordability for the masses to not ever enter such an opportunity. Next, in our Business 640, Emerging Topics in Business, well, this was definitely the most challenging class due to the unknowns. For example, corporate social responsibility not being just about beach cleanups, gender pay grade gaps that we hear about in the news, but they also include leveraging advanced technologies such as AI, blockchain, and data analytics to address complex social chain inefficiencies, which was really neat to learn about. Now, then we learned about remote work and its so industry specific implementation wise. Even going back to that Sunday night discussion responders, there's just so many different real world situations or solutions that can be implemented. And then lastly, that machine learning and artificial intelligence section, having graduated my bachelor's back in 2017, this was where I realized I was really behind in this technology and started exploring AI to a different level. So with our capstone, right, everyone didn't love the CapSim presentation, that portion of it, but once we got comfortable with it, you could definitely see the realism in making those high-level decision makings regarding just the variables and how they all kind of intertwine. And that was neat at the end where we implemented that TQM section and you could see how things would change, best case and worst case. That was really nice. And then, of course, moving on to the project where, everyone had that same guidelines off the get-go, but when we looked at the discussion reply, how different our answers were. It was kind of interesting to see that. And lastly, the project specific concentration that brought in that longevity of the MBA journey for me. Short term, bring in, hopefully entering that financial wealth management section and bringing my financial strategies into it. And then long term, understanding how hedge fund size really changes those requirements to enter the industry. So, some like a chameleon, change is the only thing constant in life. So, I'd like to recommend, an AI dedicated class. Yes, there were some students that were straight from undergraduate, very familiar with this, but, for us more seasoned in life that aren't as tech savvy, that would have been so huge to learn right off the get-go. A mentorship program, perhaps from postgraduates. I agree there with virtual career fairs, and we got a weekly handshake email, but what about actual company recruiters interested in us? That would have been great. During my undergraduate degree, two things I definitely would like to implement was we always had industry specific talks. So, utilizing that Zoom technology now and just getting that content specific knowledge from our MBA impact other graduates have had. What changed at the work level for them? And lastly, guest presenters, there's for teachers that haven't touched every topic they're teaching about, right? The big gap between textbook answers versus what is real world. So it would have been great to have some guest presenters that could actually better explain those answers. So thank you, Dr. Wayne and classmates, for this experience. Being in the military, this was definitely an opportunity that I would not have been able to achieve in person. So congratulations to everyone. I hope to meet you at graduation and have a great day. Thank you. Bye for now.